So in this video, we're going to talk about the law of cosines. If you'll recall, these are case 3 and case 4. So case 3, we had two sides and the included angle. So that is SAS, SAS, and then three sides known was SSS. Okay, so the law of cosines for a triangle with sides little a, little b, little c, and angles opposite capital A, capital B, capital C respectively, we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. We have b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ab cosine b. And I have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2ab. I'm sorry, I messed this up. Okay, scratch that. It's the sides that we don't use. So b is not in, so that would be a and c. And then this one has an a, so I'm going to use b and c cosine a. Okay. Make sure I got these correct. They're also in your book. These are the law of cosines. Law of cosines. Okay, looks good. All right. So, there's a proof in your book. If you want to go through that, that's fine. But the law of cosines, the square of one side of a triangle equals the sum of the squares of the other sides minus the minus 2, their product, times the cosine of the included angle. Okay? So observe that if a triangle is a right triangle, say it's like this, a right triangle, where C is equal to 90 degrees. All right, then what does the formula become? It becomes C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of 90 degrees. Well, the cosine of 90 degrees is 0. So this becomes C squared equals A squared plus B squared, which is the Pythagorean theorem. That's what we want it to be. So that's a special case. So this is a special case, right triangle is a special case for law of cosines. Okay? So say you're given a triangle and you're told this is 60 degrees. You got your side C, your angle B here, and your angle A here, and you're told 2 here and 3 there. Now, side, angle, side, that's SAS, so I use law of cosines to get my other sides. Okay? So, how do I do this? Well, say I want to know what C is. I do C squared equals A squared plus B squared, the sum of the two other sides squared, minus 2 times the other sides multiplied times the cosine of angle C. Now this is equal to, what is A? Let's see, this is A and this little thing is B. So that's 2 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 2 times 3 times the cosine of 60 degrees. Now this is going to be 4 plus 9 minus 2 times 2 times 3 times, now what is the cosine of 60? That is 1/2. Okay, so one of those 2's goes away. So I get 13 minus 6 gets me 7. So C is equal to this, C squared is equal to 7, which tells me that C is equal to the square root of 7. So this is the square root of 7 for that side. Now, C is square root of 7. To get angles A and B, either the law of sines or the law of cosines can be used. It is preferred to use the law of cosines because it will lead to an equation with one solution. Using the law of sines would lead to an equation with two solutions that would need to be checked to determine if the solutions fit the given data. So choose any of the other formulas. So say we're looking for angle A, so let's use A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 BC cosine A. Okay, so A squared, that's going to be 2 squared equals, hold on one second, see what they're doing here. Okay, so 2 squared equals B squared, which is 3 squared, plus C squared, square root 7 squared, minus 2, and then B, which is 3, C, which is square root 7, and then the cosine of A. That's what we don't know. So 4 equals 9 plus 7 minus 6 square root 7 cosine A. So this gets me 16. So subtract 16 from both sides, and I get minus 12 equals negative 6 square root 7 cosine A. Divide by negative 6 square root 7 on both sides. And so that gets me 2 over the square root of 7 equals the cosine of A. Now, to find this, I do the cosine inverse. A is equal to the cosine inverse of 2 over the square root 7. If I type that in my calculator, I get 40.9 degrees. And so my angle here for A is 40.9. So I can use to get B plus 60 degrees plus 40.9 degrees equals 180, because there's 180 in a triangle. So that means B is going to be the subtraction of those, which is 79.1 degrees. All right, you could use your law of cosines again and just do B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B if you wanted to, and then solve for cosine B if you want, and you'll get the same answer. Ends up being, if you want to know, cosine inverse of square root 7 over 14, which gets you 79.1. Okay? All right, let's do using the law of sines and cosines for SSS. So triangle SSS, law of cosines. Now, if I do this, let's just have a triangle. Side 4, side 3, side 6. So I'm going to call this angle C, angle B, and angle A. Okay, so I need to find all the angles, so find A, B, C. How do we do this? We can use law of cosines. So law of cosine, so just pick one. Let's do a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. So what do I have? Well, angle A represents this. This is C, and then this is little b. So that's 16 equals, so let me not skip too many steps. So 4 squared equals 3 squared plus 6 squared minus 2, and then 3, and then 6, and then cosine A. So 16 equals 9 plus 36 minus, and then 36 cosine A. So this is going to get me 9 and 36 make, what does that make? That makes 45. Okay, so 16 equals 45 minus 36 cosine A. And so if I solve, I need to subtract 45, and I get minus, oh my goodness. So 16 minus 45 gets me negative 29 equals negative 36 cosine A. Divide by negative 36 on both sides. Okay. So that's going to get me 29 over 36 equals the cosine of A. So A is the cosine inverse of 29 over 36. So the cosine inverse of 29 over 36 is 33.3. I'm sorry. What have I done wrong? I've done something wrong. 36.3. Not 33.3. 36.3 degrees. Okay. So that's angle A. So 36.3 degrees. Now I'm going to stick with my law of cosine so I don't have any ambiguous cases going on here. And let's just find angle B now. So do b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b. Okay. So that'd be 3 squared equals what? 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6 cosine b. So 9 equals, now 16 and 36 minus 2448 cosine b. So this is going to be 42, so subtract 52, so 9 minus 52, so 9 minus 52, negative 43 equals negative 48 cosine b. So cosine b equals 43 over 48. So b is the cosine inverse of 43 over 48. If I type that in my calculator, I get 26.4 degrees. So if I know that this is 26.4 degrees, I don't have to do it again for C. I can just do 180 minus 26.4 minus 36.3. And that's going to get me 117.3 degrees. Okay? For my last angle there. Cool. Now we've got one application problem, and I'll do this in another video.